Hi, Junior with today's thought. If you're conservative like me, what you're going to see in a moment is one of the most enjoyable things that you'll ever see. It made me want to stand up and cheer. I didn't do it physically, but in my head, I actually did stand up and cheer, say, hear, hear, hooray. The World Economic Forum, if any of you don't know what that is an organization of all the elites, basically the global elites, the most prominent businessmen, corporate heads, and also the politicians of all these, the International Monetary Fund, the President of France, the Chancellor of Germany, all these liberal organizations, they all come together and they have a meeting, the World Economic Forum, every year at Davos, Switzerland, where they espouse every woke ideology, policy that you can ever think of. All of them, climate alarmism, check, more than one sex, check, world government, they're really big on that. Check, because we poor peons, we can't be trusted to govern ourselves. Basically, government by elites. As I said, the whole 9 yards. Every woke socialist. That's the irony. These corporate heads of organizations, they're basically socialists. Some of their policies. Anyways, what surprised me is that the complete opposite of the World Economic Forum. One of them is a think tank you probably heard of, the Heritage Foundation. Very conservative. They're anti-globalist. They're pro, American first, America first, so on and so forth. The president, Dr. Kevin Roberts, Dr. Kevin Roberts is the president of the Heritage Foundation. He was invited to speak, to be interviewed in Davos at the World Economic Forum, the meeting in Davos. And, I guess he took a plane like the other ones, but didn't feel guilty about his. Well, they don't feel guilty either about their carbon footprint. They dictate to the rest of us. You've heard this before. And then they take planes to Davos for something that can be done just as well these days over Zoom. It can be done over the internet. So hypocrites, but not the president of the Heritage Foundation. So he was invited. He went, and he basically read all these elites the Riot Act. He just told them flat out, instead of me telling you what he told them, you can watch right now and see what he told them. So here you go, and enjoy.
One thing that Davos, you might say, and the people come here stand up for, is liberal democracy.
It's laughable that you would, or anyone would, describe Davos as protecting liberal democracy. I'll be candid here because I think I've been invited here to be candid. Elites tell us that open borders and even illegal immigration are okay. The average person tells us in the United States that both rob them of the American way of life. Elites also tell us that public safety isn't a problem in big American cities. Just travel to New York or Washington or Dallas, Texas. The average person will tell you that the lack of public safety damages not just the American way of life, but their life. Elites tell us that we have this existential crisis with so-called climate change. The solutions, the average person know, cost more human lives, especially in Europe during the time that you need heating, than do the problem and the problems themselves. The fourth, China. The number one adversary, not just to the United States, but to free people on planet Earth. Not only do we at Davos not say that, we give the Chinese Communist Party a platform. And fifth, as we sit here, another supranational organization, the World Health Organization, is discussing foisting gender ideology upon the global South. These are practices that are under review, if not being rejected, by countries in Northern Europe. The new president, especially if it's President Trump, will, as you like to say, trust the science. He will understand the basic biological reality of manhood and womanhood. And do you know why? not because of retribution, not because he's a dictator, but because he has the power of the American people behind him. Let me just correct the slight assertion you made there. We want Ukraine to win. We want to see Ukraine win with a lot more help from European allies. I think the United States has a role. Heritage has been clear about this for 2 years now, that there is a world in which we support military aid for Ukraine. Our first obligation in foreign policy is to look at it through the lens of what's best for the American citizen. Joe Biden has done a god-awful job in articulating what that is. The kind of person who will come into the next conservative administration is going to be governed by one principle, and that is destroying the grasp that political elites and unelected technocrats have over the average person. And if I may, I will be candid and say that the agenda that every single member of the administration needs to have is to compile a list of everything that's ever been proposed at the World Economic Forum and object all of them wholesale.
And as I said before that video that you just watched, hear, hear, hooray, cheers. It's so wonderful to hear that in any forum, but to have somebody say that directly to these elites at I guess their most important. If you believe liberalism is a religion, that is the holiest day for liberals. One of them, maybe except for Earth Day, maybe that's either number one or close, or who knows which one is more important, Earth Day or the World Economic Forum at Davos every year. Either way. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. And by the way, thanks. The number of subscribers, the rate of subscribers seems to have picked up since I passed 500. It's now too many for me to thank everybody individually. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I really do appreciate it. And if more of you could subscribe, that would be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.